Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Superman Lois Season 4. We've got our first new teaser from Bitsy Tulloch herself. We got a title reveal for the first episode and a lot more, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so we're going to get into Superman Lois, the final season, and everything that has been teased so far. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to the final season. We know they are starting to film in the next couple of days. It is currently the 9th of January 2024 when I'm recording this video, and you know, in the next couple of days we could potentially be seeing stuff. However, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to get actual good looks at like Superman and Lois and some of the cast members. We'll have to wait and see. I can't promise that, but for now we're going to get into the stuff that is concrete that we've been shown online in the last couple of days as everyone flocked back to Vancouver getting ready to shoot season 4 in the coming days later this week. But also later in the video we're going to theorize about when we're going to get our first like official teaser from the CW, like any trailers, any photos officially from the CW. Obviously we know we're going to get some behind the scenes photos and videos probably in the next couple of weeks as they start shooting more, and obviously the cast and crew are going to be posting stuff themselves as BTS that we can have a look at over the next couple of weeks as well. But for now, let's go ahead and go into the first thing. So Bitsy Tulloch is back in Vancouver. She's actually been pretty active online in the last couple of days since she got back. So a couple of days ago I addressed one of her Instagram posts and Twitter posts where she basically uploaded a photo of all of Lois's costumes, and she was doing fittings for the show, obviously for the first episode. And now she has actually revealed something far bigger than that, and that is the episode title for episode 1 of season 4. So as you can see on the screen right here, this is what Bitsy Tulloch had to say, and she says, "Off we go, hashtag Superman Lois," with a bunch of rockets. And the most interesting thing is she's actually posted the full front page of the script. Now she probably got the go ahead to do this to tease fans and get people excited. That was definitely part of the plan. They don't do this by accident. Obviously they have NDAs and things that they have to agree to, so they don't reveal a lot. So I bet you she got express permission to release this. And so on the front page you can see we've got the official credits of the first episode. So it's going to be directed by Gregory Smith, as was previously reported. Gregory worked on the season 3 finale, so it makes sense that he is continuing by directing the first episode of season 4, because it is a continuation, and we hope obviously we get to see the Doomsday fight, but we don't really have too much hope as of right now. But we have the writers. Brent Fletcher wrote this episode along with showrunner Todd Helbing, so that is good to know that, you know, Todd's very involved still, even as a showrunner, and obviously they're going to take this final season very seriously about rounding out everything. And so the episode 1 title is officially The End and the Beginning. I think this is a great title. It's a great tease for what is to come, because it is the end of the show. This is the final season, but it's also the beginning of the season. But in terms of what this could mean in the context of Superman Lois, in the context of the actual show itself, what could the end and the beginning mean? Does it have anything to do with Superman and the potential death of Superman's story arc that they're setting up with that season 3 cliffhanger? Is there anything to that? Could it be the end of Superman that it's referring to? Or could it literally just be a metatextual thing where it's like, okay, we understand it's the end of the show, and this is the literal end of the beginning of the show, and so it's just literally that. It could be that, or it could be the end of something. So say potentially they move to Metropolis this season. Again, I don't know if that's true, but it could be the end of Smallville and the beginning of their life restarting in Metropolis. I'm thinking it's something along the lines of that, but also with a nod to this actually being the final season, because they have the power to do that if they want to break the fourth wall, because the characters don't see the episode title. It's only us and them that see the title, so it's just a title at the end of the day. But that is some of the theories that you could go into in terms of what this title could mean in the context of the show and obviously out of context. But shout out for Bitsy for being so active on social media. It's definitely getting me extra hyped for this final season. Obviously I was already hyped, but you know, it's good to see some of the teasers and just that everything is going ahead properly. And I got something extra to talk about because underneath that post, James Gunn actually replied to Bitsy Tulloch with an emoji, and it's like the kind of hands up emoji using the kind of praise hands, I guess you could call it, basically praising the post, so being excited for what's to come. And so I think that means the world to DC fans and Superman Lois fans specifically, because we feel like we've been shafted with the Arrowverse. Like, the Arrowverse only has Superman and Lois left, and that's because of the CW, that's because of Nexstar, that's their fault. It's not James Gunn's fault that we don't have the Arrowverse beyond season 4 of Superman and Lois. So it's nice to see that James Gunn is acknowledging the Arrowverse, acknowledging Superman and Lois, and he's excited to see what's going to be happening in this final season, and obviously in this episode titled The End and the Beginning. So yeah, I just really like that he's praising it and that he is a fan of the show. He has previously mentioned Superman and Lois before, basically saying that this show could go on for 1 or 2 extra seasons for sure. And obviously they had to deal with what they had to deal with at the CW. That's not really to do with James Gunn because Warner Brothers aren't majority stakeholders anymore there. Maybe if James Gunn came in at an earlier time, he could have had more of a say. But I like what TV Line actually had to say to do with this, because I completely agree. They say, "This may seem like a minor comment to some, but the truth is, even a passing acknowledgement of Superman and Lois is a big deal for Gunn, who's currently hard at work on the next big screen iteration of the Man of Steel's story. Gunn is writing and directing 2025's Superman Legacy, which stars David Corenswet as Clark Kent/Superman and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane." So they are developing that Superman film, but at the same time he's praising this Superman TV show, and obviously he's been very complimentary of Superman and Lois in the past. So that's super exciting that, you know, we can have these Elseworld projects as well as what James Gunn and Peter Safran are working with over at DC Studios. But the final thing that I wanted to mention is the fact that all the cast members are back. We've seen a bunch of Instagram posts by some of the other cast members, like we know Alex Garfin is back in Vancouver. He posted a photo saying, "So long JFK." He's in New York, or he was in New York. "Vancouver, here I come, Superman and Lois season 4 about to be wild." He's in a mask and, you know, he's just in the airport. And then also Michael Bishop, who plays Jonathan in the show, he posted a bunch of photos in Canada at a Tim Hortons, which is a typically Canadian thing and a Canadian place to go to. So it's just nice to see all of these teasers. I can't wait to see more. There's going to be so much as we go into this final season because they're really going to want to market the hell out of this. Now let's talk about my theories as we end this video to do with when we're going to get our first teasers for Superman and Lois, when we're going to get a first synopsis, when we're going to get the first photos, and then also the teaser trailer and the proper trailer. So if we look in the context of Superman and Lois season 4 beginning this week, so on January 11th, that's when the start date is supposed to be. So that should be the first date that everyone is there and they actually roll cameras. Like, yes, they're in Vancouver right now, but they're doing fittings, they're reading through the scripts, they're just preparing to get going. And so with them starting January 11th and ending kind of mid-April, I believe that was the date, roughly, or sometime around there. Basically, that gives them like over 3.5 months, and you have to account for delays. Like, we know Superman and Lois in the past has been notorious for being longer to film than some of the other CW shows, but I guess with the budget restrictions, they're going to be way more restricted this season in terms of, you know, how far can they actually push it. They're probably going to have to stick deadlines. And to do with the release date, if we stick to the idea that, you know, they're going to be finished in April, then there's going to be time for post-production, but they normally start post-production like after each episode is done, so they don't just wait for the 10 episodes to be done and then they will start it. They'll start editing as they go along, and they'll do the VFX at the same time, and they'll do the sound, the music, and everything like that. So basically, if we run with the assumption that it's going to be out in the summer at the earliest, so whether that be June, July, August, or it could be that they hold back the show to the fall. That means the autumn, aka October time. They could potentially do that because that's traditionally when CW shows and Arrowverse shows would normally air. But we've seen it before with DC shows like Stargirl, even Supergirl at one point, were airing in the summer. I could see a summer release date, but we'll have to wait and see as to what the CW strategy is. But if we go for a summer release date, let's say the synopsis for the first couple of episodes, the other titles for the episodes surrounding episode 1, any photos, any teaser trailers, they're probably going to be released about a month or so before the release date. So say it could potentially air in July. Let's say maybe the end of May would be a good time and a good guess as to when stuff would start to be released. They tend to do that. They don't tend to leave it too late, especially because this is going to be the final season. Surely they're going to want to put all their chips in for this because this is their biggest show that is left on the network, and the CW is definitely desperate. So I really hope they put a lot of effort into marketing this final season. I hope it goes out with a big bang. But if it comes out in the autumn, in October, you could see a Comic-Con return for Superman Lois, but specifically the Arrowverse, because I don't think Superman Lois has ever been to Comic-Con, if I'm right in saying, because it started, you know, in the pandemic kind of era, and so Comic-Con hasn't been a big thing for a while. Actually, the last time that I went was probably the last big Arrowverse panels that they did. It was the year that Batwoman first came out. It was in 2019. I was there myself, and I was there with Paigey. We watched a bunch of the Arrowverse panels. It was the final Arrow panel ever. Legends was there, The Flash was there, Supergirl was there, but also you had Batwoman for the first time. Superman Lois wasn't out by then in 2019 in the summer. So you could potentially see a return to Comic-Con if it's an October release date for Superman Lois. They would definitely be smart to use that time because obviously Comic-Con is becoming bigger and bigger once again now that people can return to going on holidays and, you know, attending bigger kind of events because now the pandemic has kind of died down. And also we don't have DC fandom anymore. I don't know if the new DC studios are planning anything, but you would expect some sort of announcements at San Diego Comic-Con, and traditionally in the past we would have got trailers and teasers at Comic-Con, obviously with the cast being there talking about the show and the upcoming season. So those are my theories as of right now. Don't know what's going to go on because we haven't got any official confirmation about when season 4 is coming out specifically, but you can make your assumptions like we did in this video. So for now, let me know what do you think about all this down in the comments below. Also leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.